Hey folks, Moose here. I have a great storm coming in for a day in the Sierra, so we hit the road looking for some gray, black, and whites. Well, I thought I'd just give you a little idea of how I look at it, and then how I shoot it, and then how I process it. So, went up the road to our favorite place in the backyard, Mono Lake, and I had to wait a little bit for the clouds to kind of come over the crest, and they kind of skid out like you see here going off. This is the east. This is Area 51 back here. Well, that's a whole nother story. I have to come to the workshop for that. But here's my photograph. I've got the visual depth. You can see the clouds kind of leading into a vanishing point right back here behind Nidget and Poa. Those are the two volcanic islands out in the middle of Mono Lake. So I'm going to do the finishing. So I'm starting in Adobe Camera Raw. And I have my preset. I'm going to sit there and just click on it. It's pretty simple. And then I'm going to sit there and, just the way that it does, I'm going to sit there and get rid of the exposure changes and the brightness and the contrast. I don't like the numbers it's picked. I'm going to do my own. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up a little bit the shadows, okay? Hit my fill light, bring it up a little bit. I bring up go over to, go back to and change my noise reduction because, well, I'm going to sit there and crank up the noise reduction. I'm doing a preemptive strike because I know I'm going to black and white. And with that basic, okay, I'm going to come in and simply open the object. And it's going to open as a smart object. There's other videos there in the Moose library that will take you into how I did those presets. But I do it as quickly as possible. Okay. Now, first thing I'm going to do is and keep in mind, this is my own thing, okay? This is not like you're supposed to do it from Nick. This is how Moose does it. So I have the flexibility because you know what? You've seen those introductions for CS6 coming out. So I think that maybe CX6 is coming out. So I want some flexibility, all right? First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do a copy that layer, Control or Command J, right click on it, and I'm going to rasterize it. Now the first thing I'm going to do, because I know I'm going to black and white, is I'm come over to one of my favorite programs. Okay, Nick, I'm going to hit Define 2.0. Now you might be saying, Moose, I thought you just did a preemptive strike on noise in Adobe Camera Raw. I did. But I know by looking at this photograph, okay, I'm going to really tweak it. Now, how do I know that? Some people ask me that. Well, this main set of lenticular clouds right here, and they're not quite there yet. The winds weren't really going. They kind of got really into that cool pancake shape after the sunset because the winds really weren't quite howling yet. But see these whites right here? I know that these whites up here aren't white. They're kind of gray. I'm going to make them whiter. I'm going to bend some pixels. I could break them. I'm going to really push it. So I'm going to hit Define. And what am I going to do that for? Because I want the noise non-existent. So I make a 24 by 30 print. That's my kind of like my bench point for quality. I want it there. All right, so I'm doing Define again. So I'm double hitting it with noise, so I don't have it at the end. Again, this is just the way that I prefer to do it. It's the quickest and fastest way of doing it because I'm still trying, keep that 2-minute clock in tow. That's what I'm doing. So here I go. I'm going to sit there and it's going to sit there and whop it out. And as soon as it's done, this layer that I created, because I don't want all that smart object stuff because I'm not that smart. I just want a simple layer. It's there. Next, I'm going to go over to, again, Filter, Nick, Silver Effect Pro. I'm highly recommending you make sure you update. There's been some updates lately. See? Just like that. There's some updates, okay? Yes, I know that was planned. Pretty lame. But there are some updates. You want to make sure you go get them. Now, here's my Silver Effects Pro pretty simplistic kind of formula. I come up, I go to Structure first. I know you're not supposed to. I go in the 80 range. I sit there and look at the brightness and the contrast. I'm going to do the brightness just a tad, not much. My favorite measurement, the tad. Click OK and let it go. All right. Now I have to tell you, I thought about the whole processing before I went click with the camera. That's really important. That allows me to go very quickly into the finishing. See these layers of white going down and dark going down to the horizon? And of course, look at the top corners up here. See how they're darker and they get lighter to the horizon? That's just the way the sky works. But I want to sit there and do a little finishing. Now, a couple things I like to do. Now, they have updated Color Effects Pro 4 as well. So yes, you're going to want to sit there and make sure you check your updates, okay? I know that's really bad, but I knew it was going to happen. Okay. But I'm going to go to pro contrast. I like the pro contrast when I sit there and do some black and white, especially when I have this very dark up here, top corners, going to that lighter horizon. Because see, look, see what's coming out there? So I'm going to go to pro contrast. Boink. All right. Dynamic contrast. Why am I using that dynamic? Because that's really that dynamic contrast is using a little bit of the HDR math that's in HDR Effects Pro. It does a really nice job. I mean, look at that quick little slider. Not really a whole lot of thinking, but see how it kind of just brightens up everything a little bit? Including what? These clouds up here. Look at that. I mean, seriously. People go, how do you do this stuff in 2 minutes? Well, you come to my Photoshop for Shooters workshop. I'm going to show you even more of this in depth. But here we are doing this very quick video using basic tools we have right now. Just so you understand, go through it again. I went through ACR, did a quick processing with ACR. I then went to define, second hit on noise, so I don't have any noise because I am pushing things. Then Silver Effects Pro, that structure going across. And then I went to Pro Contrast, and we look at the before. Okay, there's the before, there's the after. The before, now look at the clouds up here. I mean, look at the clouds up here. That's really important. This is 1/3 of the frame up here. 1/3 that real estate. Watch what happens when I sit there and use structure in the Silver Effects Pro and the Pro Contrast. Just watch again that top third of the photograph. Because the bottom third, it was done for me. Okay? Mother Nature took care of the bottom 2/3. It's that top third that's so important. Can you see the difference? Okay? To me, that's just a beautiful black and white. Hope that helps. Hope that inspires you. Look for them storms.